Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Chemical Guys Detail Garage. Today in the Detail Garage, we have this beautiful BMW 750i with a beautiful dark silver paint job. Now today's video is going to be about how to go ahead and enhance and protect and bring out that deep luster and metallic shine of this beautiful paint job. So the products that we're going to be showcasing today is going to be the products that are in our shine and protection kit. As you guys can see right here, it contains JetSeal, which is a synthetic sealant that's going to go ahead and protect the surface for up to 12 months. That product is going to go ahead and protect your paint from contamination, from embedding itself onto the surface, harsh UV rays. It's going to enhance extreme hydrophobic properties to prevent water spots, and much more. To top it off, we're going to go ahead and apply a coat of Pizza 53, which is a white Brazilian Carnauba paste wax. Now this paste wax, it's a high-end, highly concentrated paste wax that's going to go ahead and do wonders and justice for this paint job. It's going to go ahead and enhance those curvatures, any kind of sharp edges around the vehicle. So it's going to go ahead and give it the deepest, most brilliant shine possible, while also enhancing the natural beauty and the curvature of the vehicle. Before we start, I do want to mention that we have already washed the vehicle. We washed it with Hybrid VO7 high gloss soap. Now that soap does amazing, as well as enhancing these beautiful dark metallic paint jobs. So we've already washed the vehicle, it's completely dry, and now we're just going to go ahead and hop straight into applying these products. So the first product I'm going to apply is JetSeal. Now why do you want to apply JetSeal first? JetSeal is a sealant, so this is going to go ahead and bond properly and adhere the best to the pores of your paint. So to apply this product, it's very easy. All you want to do is make sure to shake it up very well. You want to make sure to shake it up so that all the product gets nice and mixed together. So if your product sits for a while, you know, these products tend to kind of emulsify a little bit, so just give them a good shake and you're good to go. Now all you want to do is open your spout cap. And we're using some foam applicators here, which do amazing at applying these products. And you'll see, especially when I apply the paste wax, how well it does. But even in, general cases, whenever you're applying a wax, a sealant, a glaze, these are extremely convenient to go ahead and apply your product onto so that you can simply apply it to the surface of your paint. And JetSeal is so cool because you can go ahead and apply it to your paint, and it applies just like a regular, a Carnauba wax. It applies just like a cream-based product. You'll see right there, it goes on like a haze. So you'll see that, where you're applying it to, it's very easy to indicate, especially on these darker vehicles, because you can actually see the actual haze on there, as opposed to like a lighter color, which is a little bit more difficult to see, but it does amazing as well on all colors. So JetSeal is going to go ahead and protect our paint, and it applies very easily, as you guys can see. So I know I just done this little section, but I'm going to go ahead and proceed to doing the rest of the hood. So now that my pad is primed, I like to just apply about 2 more drops, so that it spreads the product a little bit more thoroughly and a little bit more evenly. So I like to start off at the middle of the hood and simply work my way towards myself. And you can always come back and do a crosshatch motion just to ensure that you get the most even coverage. JetSeal is so great that you can actually apply it to your paint and any glossy surface on your exterior, such as your headlights, your glass, your wheels, chrome trims, and much more. So you can apply this product onto those glossy surfaces, and like I said, it's not just gonna give it a deep shine, but it's also giving it a super durable layer protection. JetSeal has a very durable layer protection. JetSeal can last on top of the surface for up to 12 months. Obviously, if you live in different environments of the world, if you live in an area that has higher temperatures, you may want to go ahead and apply it more frequently, and that's just to ensure that the product is always on your vehicle. Now, like I said, it's going to be different for every case. We get asked often, very many times, what's going to last the longest, what's going to be the best for my paint. It all depends on how you maintain it and how you're going to go ahead and care for it in the environment that you're in. So JetSeal, like I said, it goes on easy. It's so easy that you can actually layer it twice. I like personally layering my coat of JetSeal twice, and that's just to ensure that I get a deeper protection and a lot more deeper of a shine. So now that I've done half the hood, I'm going to proceed with doing the other half and the rest of the vehicle. Once we coat the entire vehicle with the coat of JetSeal, we're going to go ahead and let that sit from anywhere from about 10 to 15 minutes. And one thing I did forget to mention is we are working indoors. You want to make sure to work indoors when you're applying these products, because you want to make sure that they have the best time to actually settle, flash, and bond direct to the surface of your paint. We don't recommend doing it outdoors in direct sunlight because it can prematurely dry your product and make it a lot harder for you to wipe it off. So work indoors or in a shaded environment, and trust me, it's a lot easier and a lot more better for your ride. now that we've finished applying JetSeal to the vehicle, it's time to wipe it off. And like I mentioned, this is all in one convenient kit. So you'll see right here, we have our professional grade microfiber towels, which are super plush, super soft, silk edged. You know, what more do I have to say? This is going to be the highest quality towel that you can use for your paint to wipe off any kind of waxes, sealants, glazes without damaging the paint and without any kind of dirt building along the borders of your towels and scratching up your paint. So the silk line right here is amazing at preventing scratching and swirling during wiping the paint. And the soft plushness of the towel is great because it's going to go ahead and remove any kind of dirt, grime, contamination from the surface without scratching the finish. As you guys can see right here, it is a 24x16 towel, which makes it great and convenient so that you can wipe off all these products without having to have so many towels. And it has two different sides. You have a nice, plush side right here, and then you also have a flat nap side right here. So you can use a side like this to buff off any kind of, remaining wax and residue, and then this towel to give it that final polish, final, cherry look. So what I'm gonna do now is look for the tag. What I'm gonna do now is remove my tag so that this doesn't, damage the paintwork. Just rip that right off, set that towards the side, and then I'm gonna go ahead and fold my towel into 3, and then I'm gonna fold it into a half, and then I'm gonna go ahead and buff off the layer of JetSeal. It already has been about 15 minutes or so, so wiping it off is gonna be super easy. And you see right there, it wipes right off just like butter. No smears, no streaks, just a deep shine and durable protection. All right, so now that we finished buffing off our layer of JetSeal, it's time to apply our wax. Now, one thing I did forget to mention is, for any of you guys who are maybe asking this question, why am I applying a sealant over a wax? A sealant is great because of its durability. Since it's a synthetic formula, it's gonna do a lot better in terms of protection because it has nanotech polymers that create a durable shield over your paintwork. So it doesn't necessarily have the Carnauba oils of a wax, but that's why we're doing this now. So we're layering our coat of JetSeal sealant with our Carnauba wax, which we're going to be using our Pete's 53. Like I said, this is a white Brazilian Carnauba wax. So this product right here, it does an astonishing job at bringing out the deep shine, luster, and the deep curvature of this vehicle. It's going to do the justice of bringing out all this beautiful curvature of this BMW. As you guys can see, it has a lot of body lines, which is going to go ahead and reflect very nicely on. So you guys can see right here, once I open it up, I'll remove the sticker here. I'll open it up. You'll see it's a nice little jar here, so you can store it. And you'll see right off the bat that this is not a cream, this is not a spray, this is not a liquid, this is a paste wax. So you see right there, it's kind of like a hard block of wax. And that's great because that shows that it's a concentrated Carnauba wax. So the way you use this is you're not gonna go ahead and pour it on your vehicle. You're gonna go ahead and grab your foam applicator here, and you're gonna lightly dab it into your paste wax jar here, and just give it a few little wipes. And you'll see right there, it looks like I barely got anything there. But just from that little piece right there, it's gonna be enough for me to go ahead and do about half the hood. Because remember, this right here, it's a highly concentrated Carnauba. So with this right here, when you wipe it with the foam applicator, it's gonna generate heat and kind of melt it into like a fine Carnauba oil. So essentially, you're not really applying a hard texture onto the surface. You're working it in to kind of melt it into the Carnauba oil, which is gonna go ahead and seep into the pores of your paint and give it a super deep shine. So you'll see right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and go left and right. And with these paste waxes, they're so cool that you can go ahead and wipe them right on, apply them, and you see right there, it's still going hard right there. We're still going strong as far as product wise. And you guys saw, I barely even, kind of dabbed it in there. So once you go up and down, you want to apply it just like any other wax. You can go left and right to go ahead and just make sure that you get the most even coat. And you don't need to go crazy with the paste wax. With the paste wax, less is more. So when you apply this product, you want to make sure that you apply a nice fine coat so that you get a nice even layer without going excess with your product. As you can imagine, some of these paste waxes out there, they can range as far as like pricing. So you want to make sure that you get the best use out of your paste wax by minimizing the amount of product that you use. Because remember, this product goes a very long way. You don't need to go crazy applying it. All right, so we just finished applying the product onto the entire vehicle. Now we're gonna go ahead and let that sit and do its job so that it can flash and we can wipe it right off. We're gonna let that sit from anywhere from about 5 to 10 minutes. So with these paste waxes, you wanna give them a decent amount of time to apply and cure, but you don't have to give them a lifetime, you know. With these paste waxes, they go on and they flash anywhere from, like I said, 5 to 10 minutes. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give it about 10 minutes, come back, wipe it off with our premium microfiber towels, and we'll go ahead and show you guys the results. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes now. You guys can see on the paint that the product has hazed. Once your product turns into like a semi-whitish kind of color, then you'll know it's ready to be wiped off. Another cool way to indicate it is if you go to an area that has like the product on it and you wipe your finger through it, and if it wipes off completely off, then you'll know that the product is completely flashed and you can go ahead and wipe it off with your microfiber towel. So now I'm gonna go ahead and grab my towel here and begin to wipe it off. And you guys can see that beautiful, deep, lustrous shine. It looks amazing, and trust me, like just wiping it with the towel, it's super slick. I'm not getting any kind of resistance whatsoever, and it's giving it a deep, deep, deep warm glow shine. Like I said, this is also enhancing all the curvature around the vehicle. So all these edges around the vehicle, it gives them a deep, crisp kind of look. So this is definitely gonna go ahead and make a huge difference. You know, a lot of these products, like especially like with the waxes, they vary as far as like Carnauba oils. You'll have like your butter wet wax, which has yellow Carnauba. This right here, Piece 53, contains a white Carnauba wax, which, like I said, does an amazing job in enhancing these beautiful curvature on this vehicle. Check out that deep shine and luster, guys. Remember when this BMW first came in, it looked great, but now it looks 10 times better. And that's all thanks to this beautiful Max Shine kit. As you guys saw, JetSeal did an amazing job at giving us a durable coat of protection, and it also contains gloss enhancers that give it a deep shine already. Then we topped it off with the layer of Piece 53, which, like I mentioned to you guys, it's a white Brazilian Carnauba paste wax. So that's definitely gonna be a lot more concentrated in Carnauba oils. That's gonna give it a deeper, warmer, higher gloss finish. And it also adds to the layer of protection that's on there, such as the JetSeal, to prolong and extend the layer of protection. So there you guys have it. If you guys like this kit, you guys can pick it up on our website. It's amazing, it's an amazing value, and it's definitely gonna be amazing for your paint. And like I said, it's all in one convenient kit. So what's not to love about that? If you guys like this video or if you guys like these products, make sure to give us a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe, and make sure to comment down below if you've learned something new today and your future ideas for any videos. My name is Joey. This is Chemical Guys Detail Garage. We'll see you guys next time.